Hello to your faces! Welcome back. This is the 51 UAP files they don't want you to see. Episode 2. All info at www.war.gov/UFO. The first document reads as follows. Cleared for release, May 8th, 2026. Statement. The Department of War is in lockstep with President Trump to bring unprecedented transparency regarding our government's understanding of unidentified anomalous phenomena. These files, hidden behind classifications, have long fueled justified speculation, and it's time the American people see it for themselves. This release of declassified documents demonstrates the Trump administration's earnest commitment to unprecedented transparency. United States. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. An FBI report from 1957 detailing the interview with Władysław Krasuski, who recounted seeing a large, circular, vertically rising vehicle in 1944 Germany near a German military compound. Redactions have been made to protect the identity of eyewitnesses, the location of government facilities, or potentially sensitive information about military sites not related to UAP. No redactions have been made to any files released under President Trump's directive concerning information about the nature or existence of any encounter reported as a UAP or related phenomena. Asset file name 65HS1 101634279910DE 26505. Release 5/8/26. Release 01. Agency FBI. Incident date 11/7/57. Incident location Germany. Document type PDF. Viren 260508-0-D0360-1002. FBI Central Records Center. Declassification Authority derived from FBI Automatic Declassification Guide, issued May 24, 2007. Notes re-interview with Władysław Krasuski, received 11/7/57. NW 90290. Doc ID 34714592, page 2. All information contained on this envelope herein is unclassified. Date 5/20/85 by SP6. FBI Detroit. Date received 11/17/52. From name of contributor, address of contributor. By name of special agent. To be returned? No. Description. All information contained herein is unclassified. Date 2/22/85 by SP6. Interview with Władysław Krasuski. Record request FD-125 5/27/55. 2. Redacted. Criminal. Return to Rainbow. File number 100-26505. Name and aliases of subject, applicant, or employee and spouse. Władysław Krasuski, aka Walter. Addresses. Residence 5457. Unreadable. Business. Unreadable. Brewery. Gender. Male. Birth date. Redacted. Birthplace. Redacted. Emergent. 11/6/57. 5:40 p.m. CS. To SAC, Detroit. From Director, 1P. Unidentified flying objects, IS, X. Mr. W. Kiasuski, Complainant. 5457 Joe's Campo, Detroit 11, Michigan. Addressed letter dated November 4th to Robert Cutler, who is Special Assistant to the President, stating, quote, I might have some information about the rocket in Texas. I heard about it on the Polish radio program. I would like to know to whom I could speak to. Unquote. Interview Kiasuski for any information he may have. Reflect no information re Kiasuski. Subtitle. Detroit 31, Michigan, November 7th, 1957. All information contained herein is unclassified. Not anymore, it's not. Date: 5/20/1985. By SP Unreadable. Unidentified flying objects. In response to a letter directed by him to Mr. Robert Cutler, Special Assistant to President Dwight D. Eisenhower, reflecting that he might have some information about the rocket in Texas, Władysław Krasuski, 5457 Joseph Campow, Detroit, was interviewed November 7, 1957, and furnished the following information. Born redacted in the state of redacted, Krasuski was brought from Poland as a prisoner of war to Gut-Alt-Gulsen, approximately 30 miles east of Berlin, Germany, in May 1942, where he remained until a few weeks after the end of World War II. He spent the following years at displaced persons camps at Cork, Strasbourg, Offenburg, Milheim, and Freiburg, Germany. He attended a radio technician school at Freiburg, and for about a year was employed in a textile mill at Laurach-Baden, Germany. He arrived in the United States at New York, May 2, 1951, via the SS General Stuart as a displaced person, destined to the Reverend Father Petro Wackowiak, Hamtramck, Michigan, his alien registration number, B6. Since May 1951, he has been employed at the Goebel Brewery, Detroit. News report of mysterious vehicle in Texas causing engines to stall prompted him to communicate with the United States government concerning a similar phenomenon observed by him in 1944 in the area of Gut-Alt-Gulsen. According to Krasuski, during 1944, month not recalled, while en route to work in a field a short distance north of Gut-Alt-Gulsen, their tractor engine stalled on a road through a swamp area. No machinery or other vehicle was then visible, although a noise was heard described as a high-pitched whine similar to that produced by a large electric generator. Bureau, RM. Detroit, 100-26505. CR, JLK. An SS guard appeared and talked briefly with the German driver of the tractor, who waited 5 to 10 minutes, after which the noise stopped and the tractor engine was started normally. Approximately 3 hours later, in the same swamp area, but away from the road where the work crew was cutting hay, he surreptitiously, because of the German in charge of the crew and SS guards in the otherwise deserted area, observed a circular enclosure, approximately 100 to 150 yards in diameter, protected from viewers by a tarpaulin-type wall, approximately 50 feet high, from which a vehicle was observed to slowly rise vertically to a height sufficient to clear the wall, and then to move slowly horizontally a short distance out of his view, which was obstructed by nearby trees. This vehicle, observed from approximately 500 feet, was described as circular in shape, 75 to 100 yards in diameter, and about 14 feet high, consisting of dark gray stationary top and bottom sections, 5 to 6 feet high. The approximate 3-foot middle section appeared to be a rapidly moving component, producing a continuous blur similar to an aeroplane propeller, but extending the circumference of the vehicle so far as could be observed. The noise emanating from the vehicle was similar, but of somewhat lower pitch than the noise previously heard. The engine of the tractor again stalled on this occasion, and no effort was made by the German driver to start the engine until the noise stopped, after which the engine started normally. Now, why don't we put those diameters into Google Gemini AI and see what image we get? That way we have a rough guesstimate of the vehicle described in this document. This vehicle, observed from approximately 500 feet, was described as circular in shape, 75 to 100 yards in diameter, and about 14 feet high, consisting of dark gray stationary top and bottom sections, 5 to 6 feet high. The approximate 3-foot middle section appeared to be a rapidly moving component, producing a continuous blur, similar to an aeroplane propeller, but extending the circumference of the vehicle. So this is a baseline for the potential UAP/UFO described in the document. We can see the shape and the spinning middle section. Let's tweak this a bit. We will input this following command into Google Gemini AI VEO, Google's AI video creator, and see what this would look like in video format. So now we have 3 variations of how the craft described in this document could have looked like, using the description directly from the document. Now back to the document. This area was not visited by Krasuski again until shortly after the end of World War II, when it was observed the cables had been removed and the previous locations of the concrete structure and the enclosure were covered by water. Krasuski stated he has not been in communication since 1945 with any of the work crew of 16 or 18 men, consisting of Russian, French, and Polish POWs, who had discussed this incident among themselves many times. However, of these, Krasuski was able to recall by name only Franciszek Grabowski, no address known, described as then about 50 years of age, and presumed by Krasuski to have returned to Poland after 1945. This report is loaned to you by the FBI, and neither it nor its contents are to be distributed outside your agency. Until now. To Director FBI. All information contained from SAC Detroit 100-26505 herein is unclassified. Date by 11/7/57. Unidentified flying objects. Read Detroit teletype to Bureau 11/7/57. Captioned Unidentified flying objects. IS-X. Interview of Władysław Krasuski, aka Walter Krasuski, reported in blank memo, 5 copies of which are enclosed herewith for the Bureau, was conducted by S.A. Cassius Rathbun. No indication of irrational or otherwise abnormal behavior by Krasuski was observed during the interview. Krasuski advised that his communication was directed to Mr. Robert Cutler rather than to President Eisenhower, after seeing Mr. Cutler's picture and identification with the president's office in a local paper. Krasuski resides with his wife, née Joanne Wisnowski, married in 1952 at Detroit, and 4 small children, in a single residence in an old Polish neighborhood at 5457 Jos Campow Avenue, Detroit. No previous record located in Detroit indices identifiable with Krasuski or his wife. On 11/7/57, William Recknagel, manager, advised IC Paul Desmond that records of the Michigan Merchants Credit Association reflect only credit inquiries concerning Walter Krasuski during 6/56 and 3/57 and 6/57, which confirm his local address and employment. FBI, date 11/7/57. Transmit the following message via urgent teletype, priority or method of mailing. 2. Director FBI. From SAC, Detroit. Unidentified flying objects, IS-X. All information contained herein is unclassified. Repatel Nov 6 last. Władysław Krasuski, aka Walter Krasuski. Large amount redacted. Was German prisoner of war May 1942 until summer of 1945. Arrived NY May 2, 1951. As DP, AR No X. Krasuski upon FOIA, X. Interview. Advised that while German POW during 1944 observed a vehicle described as circular in shape, 75 to 100 yards in diameter, approximately 14 feet high. The vehicle was observed to slowly rise vertically to height sufficient to clear 50-foot wall and to move slowly horizontally a short distance out of view, obstructed by trees. Engine of tractor failed to operate during this period, and on several other occasions when high-pitched whining noise heard in area. No indication of mental instability during interview. Further details follow. ASD. Approved. Special Agent in Charge. Carrie Leash, Director, 3539 Northwest 53rd, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The Oklahoma UFO Research Association. Bob Stamps, Co-Director, 5024 Northwest 20th, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Northwest 90290. October 2nd, 1966. FBI Office, 913 Federal Building, Detroit, Michigan. Dear Sirs, my organization would appreciate any information that you could send us on unidentified flying objects, specifically those sightings in your area in early spring of this year. We will greatly appreciate any information that you could send us on this subject. For your time and cooperation. Sincerely, Carrie Leash, Director, OUFORA. Post Office Box 2118, Detroit, Michigan, 48231. October 11th, 1966. Mr. Carrie Leash, Director, the Oklahoma UFO Research Association. 3539 NW 53rd, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Dear Mr. Leash, this is to acknowledge your letter of October 2, 1966. Please be advised that this office does not have the information you have requested. It is possible that the United States Air Force, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Dayton, Ohio, may be the proper agency to contact. Very truly yours, Paul H. Stoddard, Special Agent in Charge. All information contained herein is unclassified. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Effort to find civilizations not from Earth, SETI, redirects here. For other uses, see SETI, disambiguation. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, usually shortened as SETI, is the diverse efforts and scientific projects intended to detect extraterrestrial signals or any evidence of intelligent life beyond Earth. Arecibo Telescope in Puerto Rico, with its 300-meter, 980-foot dish, was one of the world's largest filled aperture, i.e. full dish, radio telescopes, and conducted some SETI searches. Researchers use methods such as monitoring electromagnetic radiation, searching for optical signals, and investigating potential extraterrestrial artifacts for any signs of transmission from civilizations present on other planets. Some initiatives have also attempted to send messages to hypothetical alien civilizations, such as NASA's Golden Record. Modern SETI research began in the early 20th century after the advent of radio, expanding with projects like Project Ozma, the WOW signal detection, and the Breakthrough Listen initiative. $100 million 10-year attempt to detect signals from nearby stars, announced in 2015 by Stephen Hawking and Yuri Milner. Since the 1980s, international efforts have been ongoing, with community-led projects such as SETI at Home and Project Argus engaging in analyzing data. While SETI remains a respected scientific field, it often gets compared to conspiracy theory. UFO research, bringing unwarranted skepticism from the public, despite its reliance on rigorous scientific methods and verifiable data and research. Similar studies on unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, such as Avi Loeb's Galileo project, have brought further attention to SETI research. Despite decades of searching, no confirmed evidence of alien intelligence has been found, bringing criticism onto SETI for being overly hopeful. Critics argue that SETI is speculative and unfalsifiable, while supporters see it as a crucial step in addressing the Fermi paradox and understanding extraterrestrial technosignature. Sex. History. Early work. There have been many earlier searches for extraterrestrial intelligence within the solar system. In 1896, Nikola Tesla suggested that an extreme version of his wireless electrical transmission system could be used to contact beings on Mars. In 1899, while conducting experiments at his Colorado Springs experimental station, he thought he had detected a signal from Mars, since an odd, repetitive static signal seemed to cut off when Mars set in the night sky. Analysis of Tesla's research has led to a range of explanations, including Tesla simply misunderstood the new technology he was working with, that he may have been observing signals from Marconi's European radio experiments, and even speculation that he could have picked up naturally occurring radio noise caused by a moon of Jupiter, Io, moving through the magnetosphere of Jupiter. In the early 1900s, Guglielmo Marconi, Lord Kelvin, and David Peck Todd also stated their belief that radio could be used to contact Martians, with Marconi stating that his stations had also picked up potential Martian signals. On August 21, 1924, Mars entered an opposition closer to Earth than at any time in the century before, or the next 80 years. In the United States, a National Radio Silence Day was promoted during a 36-hour period from August 21st, 23rd, with all radios quiet for 5 minutes on the hour, every hour. At the United States Naval Observatory, a radio receiver was lifted 3 kilometers, 1.9 miles, above the ground in a dirigible, tuned to a wavelength between 8 and 9 kilometers, using a radio camera developed by Amherst College and Charles Francis Jenkins. The program was led by David Peck Todd, with the military assistance of Admiral Edward W. Eberly, Chief of Naval Operations, with William F. Friedman, Chief Cryptographer of the United States Army, assigned to translate any potential Martian messages. A 1959 paper by Philip Morrison and Giuseppe Cocconi first pointed out the possibility of searching the microwave spectrum. It proposed frequencies and a set of initial targets. In 1960, Cornell University astronomer Frank Drake performed the first modern SETI experiment, named Project Ozma, after the Queen of Oz in L. Frank Baum's fantasy books. Drake used a radio telescope 26 meters, 85 feet, in diameter at Green Bank, West Virginia, to examine the stars Tau Ceti and Epsilon Eridani near the 1.420 gigahertz marker frequency, a region of the radio spectrum dubbed the water hole due to its proximity to the hydrogen and hydroxyl radical spectral lines. A 400 kilohertz band around the marker frequency was scanned using a single-channel receiver with a bandwidth of 100 hertz. He found nothing of interest. Soviet scientists took a strong interest in SETI during the 1960s and performed a number of searches with omnidirectional antennas in the hope of picking up powerful radio signals. Soviet astronomer Losif Shklovsky wrote the pioneering book in the field, Universe, Life, Intelligence, 1962, which was expanded upon by American astronomer Carl Sagan as the best-selling book Intelligent Life in the Universe, 1966. In the March 1955 issue of Scientific American, John D. Krauss described an idea to scan the cosmos for natural radio signals using a flat-plane radio telescope equipped with a parabolic reflector. Within 2 years, his concept was approved for construction by Ohio State University. With a total of $71,000, equivalent to $813,892 in 2025, in grants from the National Science Foundation, construction began on an 8-hectare, 20-acre plot in Delaware, Ohio. This Ohio State University radio observatory telescope was called Big Ear. Later, it began the world's first continuous SETI program, called the Ohio State University SETI program. In 1971, NASA funded a SETI study that involved Drake, Barney Oliver of Hewlett-Packard Laboratories, and others. The resulting report proposed the construction of an Earth-based radio telescope array with 1,500 dishes, known as Project Cyclops. The price tag for the Cyclops array was US $10 billion. Cyclops was not built, but the report formed the basis of much SETI work that followed. Wow! 1, 16, 1, 111, 1, 217, 62, 1E24, 3, 4, 3, 1, 1, T, 111, 7, 12, 1, Q1, 16, 1, 2, 1, UB1, 2JL, 31, 31, 111, 111, 1, 1, 37, 33, 33, 33, 7, 31, 21, 1, 1, 51, 14, 13, 1, 1, 1, 113, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, T, 1, T, 1, 51, 7, 7, 1, 1, 1, 7, 1, 7, 1, 1, 1, 7, 1, I, 7, 7, 1, 1. The WOW signal. The Ohio State SETI program gained fame on August 15, 1977, when Jerry Eman, a project volunteer, witnessed a startlingly strong signal received by the telescope. He quickly circled the indication on a printout and scribbled the exclamation "Wow" in the margin. Dubbed the WOW signal, it is considered by some to be the best candidate for a radio signal from an artificial extraterrestrial source ever discovered, but it has not been detected again in several additional searches. On 24 May 2023, a test extraterrestrial signal, in the form of a coded radio signal from Mars, was transmitted to radio telescopes on Earth, according to a report in the New York Times.